Hey, it's Luke. All right, I use a lot of plugins, and I realized that some of my favorite ones are actually completely free. And that's what we're going to look at in this video. There's 5 of them that I just love, and they won't cost you a penny. So the first one is by Valhalla. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's called Supermassive. They are known for their reverbs, and they're just fantastic. But this one is free. I took 3 sounds here to really give you a good idea of what this thing can do. One of them is just a normal snare. One of them is just a vocal chop. And the other one is an effect sound. So just on their own, there's not much. And if we turn this on here, this is just one of the presets. And actually, some of these presets are really interesting because some of these don't look like they're doing anything. This slow panning. So the sound goes and then it comes back in. This one here. I think this is the interesting one. It sounds like you're not doing anything. You're hitting. And it's basically doing this. Doing this loop sound, which is just fantastic. Like, I don't know how long it's going to do this, but okay, I might have to. Okay, I had to get out of the preset to stop it. So, anyways, I'll have to play around with that one a little bit more. So, yeah, you've got your different modes here. And just so many different presets, so many different things you can do. And so anyways, that's definitely one to check out. And I'm sure you'll be using this for a whole lot of stuff. The second one is a fantastic orchestral plugin from Spitfire, and it's called the BBC Symphony Orchestra Discover. I think that's what it's called. And it's just, this thing is beautiful and it's impressive. You used to have 2 ways to get it. You could fill out a survey and then wait a couple weeks and then they'd send it to you. Now it's just free for everybody, and it's really worth getting this. It's got a whole bunch of orchestral parts, and just the sound of this. And these are just some chords. You've got some reverb here, and over here you've got this one for dynamics that I've got set up here, and the other one is for the expression. So between those two, you can do. And one thing with the Spitfire audio libraries is the long notes don't have velocity. So if I hit this really hard or really softly, it does the same thing. But the shorter notes will generally have it. So the theory behind it is when you do the longer notes, you use the dynamics and the expression to basically how that sound builds. It's not just violins. You've got the cellos and the bass notes. Of course, if you hit too high, it won't play anything. You got to go to the lower ones. And these just sound beautiful. And you've even got percussion. You've got the tune percussion up here. Just so many different sounds. They just sound amazing. And you've got the reverb here. The reverb sounds nice too. You can't do a whole lot of stuff with it, but so yeah, it's definitely worth picking this up, especially at this price of free. Now, the third one is a little bit different than the other ones. It's a plugin where you can load your impulse responses. If you don't know what an impulse response is, it's basically an audio file that's not meant to listen to, but it's meant to replicate something out in the world. So a lot of them will be reverbs where they'll capture the reverberation of a cathedral or something. But they're used for other things too. You can get some for like older samplers, so you get that sort of same sound. You've got some for microphones, for consoles. And I really like playing around with different impulse responses. So I'm going to record just a basic audio clip. Okay, let's listen to it without anything. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll add an impulse response to it. This is just of a microphone. And 5, this is, the mix is at 0, so it sounds the same. And then 5, 4, 3, 2. So it's got that 1 vintage microphone sound. And we can go to a different microphone. 5, 4. There you can really notice the difference, right? 2, 1. And on some of these, if you play around with the pre-delay, it'll give you this nice little delay sound. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. You can even do some reverb if we bring the mix down. 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you want to get really deep into it, you can go record your own impulse responses, and that's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I haven't tackled that yet. Anyways, Convology XT, an interesting plugin, and it's completely free. Now, number 4 is really interesting. It's Izotope Vinyl, and you might notice I have it off here, and the reason for that is as soon as we turn it on, you can sort of hear the dust noise. A lot of these types of plugins will have a transport setting, so when you hit stop, it'll stop the background noise. This one seems to be going all the time, unless I miss something in here. So yeah, you can just bypass the plugin. It won't do anything. But anyways, we're going to turn it on here, and it's got a few different settings. And my favorite part of this plugin is these here, where you can go to the 1930s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and I'll give you an idea of what that's like. I just have a normal, here, if we turn it off here, just a very normal, boring bass sound. And if we go straight to the 1930s, see, it's got that little sound. And then if we add this, in the 30s, it probably would have had 78s. So you can actually adjust this. It'll adjust the speed of the dust and the scratches. I've never really liked the scratch sounds in here. It just sounds like clicks. It doesn't really sound like scratches, but on the audio, it sort of sounds like it. But it just ends up sounding really choppy, so I just usually turn this one off and use the dust. It's also got the mechanical sounds here. And the electrical hum, which is really weird because we've spent years trying to get rid of these sounds, and now we're getting plugins to add them back in. But anyway, so if we go with this, and then if we go to the 50s, I love how the record changes, the label changes on on these as you move forward. So you can tell there's more depth to it. And see, so now I just stopped the sound, but you can still hear the mechanical and electrical. So so that's something that would be nice to have if it did stop automatically, but you can just bypass it, like I said, if you need to. The other interesting thing here is a spin down button. So if we have it, it'll basically be as if you press the button to turn your turntable off. You could use that with a vocal clip, like right before a drop or something like that. And I just noticed that if you could hear a second sound in there that wasn't being processed, something like this, that's from the BBC Orchestra plugin from earlier, and I forgot to turn that off, so you had sort of two of them going at the same time. You could put this on the master and process everything at once, which can give a really nice sound as well. So anyways, that's Izotope Vinyl, another free one that's just amazing. Okay, number 5 is from Calum Audio, and it's called Tape Cassette 2, and this thing is amazing. So this is a sound I have just without any processing at all. just some very basic chords. And what we're going to do is add this plugin. This one will have the same thing. It's got a little bit of noise going. It doesn't have, as far as I've seen, a transport button. So we're not playing anything right now, and that noise is there. So if you have this, especially on a few different tracks, you'll want to either mute the track or disable the plugin while you're working on other stuff. So yeah, this is what we can do with it. Just adding a little bit of wow and a little bit of flutter. I actually prefer the flutter sound on here. You can bring the saturation up or down. And the presets in here are actually pretty good too. This one's got a lot of the noise going. Some of these are just adding a little bit, and some of them are adding more than others. And you can always adjust what you need. On this sound, I haven't noticed the low pass doing very much, but so you can go as soft or as heavy as you want, but just nice to have a little bit of the cassette sound in it. This one's got a whole bunch of saturation going. So it just looks nice with the VU meters and everything. So anyways, that's another plugin, absolutely free again. So those are the 5 that I use regularly, and there are a bunch of other ones too. So I might do another video about it. If you guys really like this, just let me know, and I'll do more of these. I hope this can help you make some great music. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.